Okey, Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh dan selamat pagi. Okey, kepada murid-murid dan guru-guru yang sudi hadir pada pagi ni. So kita bersiaran mungkin dalam masa sejam. Okey, kita akan bawakan webinar Cybersecurity, Contemporary Cybersecurity Challenge in Society. Okey, so sekejap saya share saya punya slide dulu. Share screen. Okay. So nampak pada penonton. Okay. Okay. Pagi ini kita akan membawakan seorang penceramah iaitu saudara Farhan Syamimi. Dia merupakan NICSET Champion 2017 kita panggil. Walaupun tajuk pada pagi ini kita fokus pada Cakna dan NICSET, tapi Cakna tu dalam bahasa Melayu, NICSET tu dalam bahasa Inggeris. Tapi kita nak perkongsian beliau tentang cara-cara untuk melontarkan idea, bincangan tentang cyber security dan isu-isu terkini kaitan dengan keselamatan cyber. Sebab kita faham benda ni siasa berubah. Ada benda baru yang kita perlu pelajari, dan walaupun kami ini dalam sektor sumber teknologi pendidikan ni ada elemen cybersecurity, kita pun nak kongsian daripada pihak luar juga. So tanpa melengahkan masa, saya jemput saudara Farhan Syamimi untuk meneruskan agenda pada pagi ini. So tapi kalau ada tuan-puan ada soalan, ada pertanyaan, tuan-puan boleh tanya di ruangan live chat. Kita akan simpan soalan dan pada masa sesi soal jawab kita akan tayang soalan tuan-puan. Okey. Dengan ni saya jemput saudara Farhan Syamimi. Mic.
Okey, dah terbiasa sangat ni. Dah mula cakap tapi masih muted. Okey, Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Okey, hai semua. Cikgu, ni semua dekat YouTube
Dekat YouTube.
I see. Okey, patutlah tak nampak response. Response kalau nak tengok dia tak boleh share kat sini ke?
Memang respon. Kalau saya tayang boleh nampak ni. Cikgu Sherry. Good morning. Nunggu ni teruja.
Alright, okay. Okay, selamat pagi semua. Assalamualaikum. Alright, so hi everyone. Nama saya Farhan Syamimi. Saya juara NICSET tahun 2017 dan juga ketua team. Mula-mula nak tanya dulu, semua kat sini rasa selesa ke dengan bahasa Inggeris? Ke korang prefer kalau saya cakap bahasa Melayu ataupun dua-dua? Jom kita ambil dalam masa 1 minit sambil kita hello pagi sambil korang tengah cari kopi ke makan kari pak ke. I'm not sure what you usually do on a Saturday.
Santai-santai je, kita tak ada lah formal kan.
Itulah. Tak apa, kalau belum makan carilah makan dulu. So yes, I'm wondering kalau korang selesa dalam bahasa Melayu ataupun bahasa Inggeris. Kita ambil dalam satu minit ni, korang type je dulu. Apa korang nak.
Ni ada 51 orang ni. You prefer BM ataupun BI?
Sebab semalam bila saya buat sebab background saya dalam NICSET ni memang dalam bahasa Inggeris. Alright, we have an absolutely okay with English. That's good. Saya punya slide pun memang saya buat dalam bahasa Inggeris. Memang akan ada satu part di mana saya akan bercakap tentang Cakna. Yang tu memang saya akan cakap dalam bahasa Melayu. Rojak aja. Okey, terima kasih Encik Fadil Syahrul. Memang saya ada bunyi macam streamer lah cikgu bila comments datang so English also can. Alright, thank you GG4KU. Thank you for the subscription. Alright, so kita ada dalam 30 saat lagi. Alright, kita ada yang okey dengan rojak, kita ada yang okey dengan English. Alright, so BI okey, BM okey. Alright, so kalau ada siapa-siapa yang tak faham langsung English, tolong bagi tahu juga sebab saya nak cuba accommodate, cuba bantu seramai orang mungkin Dan kalau ada seorang dua yang tak faham Inggeris sangat, saya boleh cuba perbanyakkan dalam bahasa Melayu. Walaupun saya dah tinggalkan SPM untuk 5 tahun. Harap bahasa Inggeris saya, bahasa Melayu saya masih okey. Cuma sekarang ni saya rasa budak-budak tingkatan 4 punya bahasa Melayu lagi power daripada saya kot. Okay, so nampaknya kita dah selesai satu minit. So nampak kebanyakannya okey dengan English. Ada yang nak rojak, so saya akan ikut macam tu. Kalau at any point dalam mana-mana masa, kalau ada yang tak faham bahasa Inggeris, nak perlukan huraian lebih,
Ni ada peminat ni. Peminat ni.
Allah. Terima kasih masih follow. Saya pun dah 3 tahun juga kot tak datang ML. Alright, so yes, again, kalau ada siapa-siapa yang tak faham bahasa Inggeris, tolong feel free bagi tahu dekat chat. Kalau tulis kat chat, kita tak tahu, okay? Alright, so kita akan mulakan dengan title dia. Saya buka. Okay, cikgu ni dah boleh nampak ke full screen?
Dah. Okay.
Alright,
dah.
so what? Okay, alright. Okay, so what is on the news today? Kalau korang tengok, kalau korang ada dekat Instagram, korang mungkin tahu siapa influencer yang cakap benda ni. What is on the news today? So, hi everyone. Today I will be talking about contemporary cybersecurity challenges in society. Now, before that, let me just give you a brief explanation as to who I am, where I came from, what I've been doing the past few years, and how I got involved in cybersecurity in the first place. So, hi, my name is Farhan, obviously. This was me. This was how I actually looked like in 2016, 2017. Encik Hanif jumpa saya masa 2017. He can vouch for that. Yeah, memang dulu saya macam ni, kurus keding, tak cukup makan. And yes, so that was how I was back then. Fast forward, it has been dah dekat 5 tahun juga Mixed lepas tu.
Ya, betul.
Yeah, after 5 years, this is how I am now. Nampak boleh lah, dah ada makan sikit. Tak, dia macam tak adalah nampak macam kayu. So yes, this is how I am now. For that 5 years, I have been doing. I'm currently an independent researcher, independent scholar, where I go from places to places offering academic research services. For the past 5 years as well, I have been doing a lot of work, especially pertinent to cybersecurity, digital literacy, media literacy. Like for example, I was a meme content researcher looking at how memes have been used for politics and also for advocacy content in Malaysia with Project Dialogue. I was also a fact checker, so that means if there's any like fake news, if there's any contentious information, that's where I contributed to research to talk about how this thing is fake news or misinformation, disinformation with Fact Check Lab Malaysia. So in 2019 to 2020, I was the Net Mission Asia School of Internet Governance ambassador. So during those years, I was taught about internet governance and also how to create policies relating to the internet, the digital infrastructure, which I will be sharing with you a little bit later. So 2020, I was the Malaysian Youth at Safer Internet Day coordinator. So every year, Cybersecurity Malaysia, the same organizer yang sama Nixat dengan Cak Nang. We had every year they have a program called Safer Internet Day, which is an international celebration. But usually every year, Cybersecurity Malaysia is the one responsible for localizing it. So what I did was that MY there means Malaysian Youth at Safe Internet Day. So it was the first time and at the moment, the only time, hopefully there will be more in the future, but this is the time that we localized the Safe Internet Day, not only for Malaysia, but also for Malaysian youths. So we talked about youth-related issues. And of course, obviously, 2017, I was the Nixat champion and team leader. So quite recently as well, just a few days ago, I was also featured on Nawani to talk about a recent news of Facebook cracking down about 500 plus bot accounts using memes to spread propaganda. So I was called in as a expert on memes and how they are used for politics. So, but this is all what I've done for the past few years. Where did I start on all of this? So I would say this is where I started. This is BTPN Kedah. So right now, what you're watching is a program with BTPN Selangor. So
Now they change the name. Not BTPN. Now we
now
call
apa sekarang?
Sektor Sumber Teknologi Pendidikan.
Sorry.
Sektor Sumber Teknologi Pendidikan.
Oh, okay. Sektor Sumber Teknologi Pendidikan. Okay, alright. So back then it was still called BTPN, Bahagian Teknologi Pendidikan, but it's the same entity. It's the exact same entity.
Same,
So
but little bit change in management lah.
oh,
So now
okay.
before we under direct bahagian, now we under state.
Oh, I see. Okay, so bawa
Jabatan Pendidikan Negeri.
I see. Okay. That's interesting. See, 5 years, everything can change already.
Yeah.
Yeah. All right. So this is where I started. This was in the same sector but in Kedah. So our competition in 2017 was held there nationally. So everybody from different states came around, and we basically took a whole week kita berkampung kat situ, makan situ, tidur kat situ, and we had programs, we had workshops, which you guys will be getting as well. Granted, you get into the competition, you get workshops, you meet new friends, you get to train every day, and every night you will be preparing for the next for the topic that's coming up on the next day. So again, this was me. I still didn't eat enough, and yes, so I started just like you guys. I started like how you guys are going to start quite soon. I was just I am not kidding you. My CV back then was just a bit. It was okay, but it's nowhere near where I am now. So literally, any of you can become me. Literally, like just put in the hard work. Do play your cards right, study really hard, and certainly you can get like as much things that I can do right now. So I started just like you. Again, I started with friends. I think now for next set you only have 3 persons per team. Back then you had 4 people. So these are all my group mates. Roshini, Eva, and then Kalisha. So we all went to Kedah. We all had a fun time. We all shared some nice moments together. But most importantly, we competed together as a team. So we started from there. We didn't expect to win at all, but like with sheer goodwill, luck, and also hard work, we managed to get there somehow. So yeah, these are a few things that we did there. So not only did we practice together, we also shared a few moments. Like they all surprised me for my birthday somehow, surprisingly, and then we had our
So dia
competition.
orang ni dah tak merasa dah sekarang, pelajar sekarang sebab pandemik semua online.
Akan ada sebenarnya.
Ya, tapi final je lah. Final je.
Kalau tak silap, semi
tahun
pun.
lepas ada. Cuma final je lah.
I see.
Kita dulu saringan pun dah kumpul.
I see. Kalau tak silap, saya ada sembang dengan pegawai dekat Cybersecurity. Diorang kata mungkin tahun ni semis in person.
Semi je lah. Kalau dulu saringan awal-awal dah kumpul satu Malaysia. Seronok lah, 14 negeri.
Betul.
Kalau semi mungkin tinggal 8 ke 4 negeri je.
8 lebih. Itulah. So maybe not everybody will feel this, but hopefully a lot of you are like at least 8 of the teams that are coming today will feel this, right? So back then it was all 14 states, all 14 teams that came around, so that we managed to meet together and eat together. And I really hope that if you don't get in this year, you will get in next year as well. So once the COVID situation has become better, you might feel this as well. So yeah, and finally we became the champion. This was in Asia Pacific University. We all won money. We all ate KFC after that. So yeah, so so of course this is all what is going. This is all what has happened, and this is all the things that you will probably be going to once you get into Nixet. But then again, the question is, what exactly do you talk about in Nixet, and what exactly do you what are the kind of content that you will look into when you're in Nixet? And also China. So again, it's important to see what's going on about cybersecurity in Malaysia that is going on in our current time. So it's always a good idea to keep on track, to look into what's happening, because cybersecurity is not something that happened 3, 4, 5 years ago and then you're only talking about it now. Cybersecurity is always changing every day. In fact, just yesterday or 2 days ago, we in Malaysia were just informed of a data breach in the form of a online transaction portal that has been that has had
Yeah,
some of its content leaked.
IP88.
Yes, IP88. So every day we're learning about something new. We're learning about our data is never safe. It's always in a constant state of not knowing what's going to happen next. So it's always a good thing to look into what's happening now, so that you can be aware, so that especially when you're in Next and China, you can speak about topics that are close to home and have impact on what's going on now. Because again, when you're in Nixa and China, you are not only in it for the competition. You are also giving a youth perspective, a school perspective on things that are happening around in the society. So whatever that you are seeing is not only beneficial to yourself for your CV or for your certificates. Ni bukan untuk sijil saja. This competition is also for you to have your voices be heard, to fix and also contribute to the fight against cybersecurity challenges. So again, what is on the news today? The first one is scams. I'm interested to know, have any of you been approached by a scam? Do you know if your uncles, your aunties, yeah?
Beli iPhone dekat IG.
Beli iPhone dekat IG, lepas tu ada apa nama dia? Lepas tu ada orang call, hello, awak ada parcel tapi awak kena bayar saya.
Parcel
apa lagi?
scam. Love
Parcel
scam.
scam.
Love scam tu sama juga. Barang hadiah. Intan belian tu sangkut kat custom. Kena bayar dulu.
So there's a lot of scams. Ada macam-macam jenis scam. So scam ni pun it's also as easy as you pay for something and then they don't send it to you. That's also a scam. So scams are basically an attempt to cheat you over something, usually in the form of money. So what are the again, if you have any experience with this, your uncle, your auntie, your grandpa, your parents, feel free to say in the chat. So in Malaysia, we are quite known, unfortunately, for this particular scam that has been going on, and a lot of people have gotten cheated by it. Even my friend, I'll talk to you about it in a bit. So the Macau Scam. Who here has heard about the Macau Scam? Feel free to write in the chat. So retired teacher loses 199,000 ringgit in Macau Scam. So this is not the only instance that's happened, but like this is how big and one of the many instances where the Macau Scam had attacked people. So
ni Zakirah ni. Just got parcel scam yesterday.
Ayo. Okay, so sorry to hear that, Shakira. I hope that I hope that things will get better on your end. Unfortunately, usually in these cases, it's really hard to get your money back because the Macau scam is a very intricate scam. So yeah, I'll talk again about like how we can try to avoid this. But yeah, that this is just how difficult the Macau scam is currently. So
So maybe ada yang tak tanya, kenapa dia nama Macau Scam?
okay. I'm not too. I don't want to comment much on that because I also can't remember how it started. If I'm not mistaken, again, you have to fact check me on this. If you guys are in your home, feel free to Google this. If I'm not mistaken, it's because it's linked to accounts in Macau. In Macau, China kan? China je.
Maybe lah.
If I'm not mistaken lah. So again, feel free to fact check me. But if I'm not mistaken, it's because it has links to call centers, scam centers that operate in Macau. So again, feel free to fact check this, which is very important when you guys are possibly going to talk about this for Nixet or China. So some of the ways that they have cheated people is again career parcel mistakes, parcel scams, where they say that there's something wrong with your parcel, you need to put in money. But once they know your money, once they know about your bank account details, once they know what your social security number, what your IC number is, they can get all of your money just like that. Even though they first say like, okay, maybe just put in 200, you can lose 200,000. That's how intricate these web of hackers are. So there's also a new tactic, and this is the exact same tactic that my friend got hit by. So a police notice to probe Macau scam. So there is a tactic where Macau scammers masquerade or they act as if they are the police. They call you. They say, okay, we have a search warrant. We have arrest warrant for you. If you don't put in money now, or if you don't tell us your bank account information, we can arrest you. So this is exactly the same thing that happened to my friend. She is just my age. She lost 47,000 ringgit, her own money, blood, sweat, and tears, and many sleepless nights, where she was called by the scammer who said they were the police, who masqueraded and acted as if they are the police, and then say, hello, your bank account is involved in a money laundering operations. So we need you to give us your bank account details so that we can investigate further. So the thing about them is that they're very, very sly. They're very, very deceitful, very manipulative. So my friend asked, okay, can I go down to the balai? Can I go down to the police station so that I can talk this to the police better? And then they say no. The scammer say no, cannot, because we already have an arrest warrant for you. If you come to the police station, you'll be arrested immediately. So guys, don't, if you ever get called like that, one, feel free to make sure, feel free to ask which police station or whichever place they are from, and feel free to go to that station in particular, or even go to any police station. Because what happened to this person, if I'm not mistaken, it's either this person or the next yeah, I think it's this person. What happened to this particular person was that despite the scammer saying no, don't call the police, don't go to the police station, this person actually went to the police station, and the police found out that the caller was a scammer. So at least this person was safe. But this person this person was rather lucky, and this person was quite smart as well to go to the police station.
So Senko Senpai asked, so that is social engineering.
Yes, that is a form of social engineering. I would say maybe not so much, because social engineering is more to the use of propaganda to skew, to put or to make society follow a very certain trend or a certain activity. So it's not exactly that, but it is almost similar to that. So yeah, again, it's best that you read more into social engineering, but in this particular case, it's not really social engineering.
Okay.
But thank you for the question.
Syakirah Syafi'i. Okay. Sambil-sambil tu Tom pun boleh tanya soalan. Kita apa? Kata apa, ada give and take lah. Maksud senang kita nak interaktif. Okay, no worries. Just bit sharing is convincing, but fortunately I notice all the sign and asking around confirm yes, his money is safe. Okay. Memang tu bijak lah. Tapi kadang-kadang ada orang kalut. Dia kata dia macam kena scam. Tapi scammer tu pandai. Dia hantar link. Cik nak check duit dia hantar link. Kadang-kadang Maybank to you tu eja macam betul. Tapi kadang-kadang dia tertinggal satu huruf. Maybank. Y tu hilang. Klik. Tu dia panggil phishing. Klik, you check.
Yes.
Dia akan ambil you punya butiran, ID, password, TSC, dia akan call. Okay. Pertama sekali, red flag yang pertama, tuan-puan kena ingat, red flag pertama, bank tak akan call. Bank macam mana pun ada tunggakan kereta apa semua, ataupun kad kredit, dia tak akan call. You kena call. Kalau call tu, red flag yang pertama. Okay, yang kedua, check URL. Kalau URL tu tertinggal satu huruf, tu red flag yang kedua. So, kena hati-hati. Ini pandangan cikgu lah. So, tengah orang, dia panik, dia tak fikirlah, dia terus klik. Yang in case yang hilang banyak duit ni, orang IT tau. Sebab panik. Panik, dia klik link, duit dia hilang. 80,000, 90,000. Wipe macam tu je. Bank bila hilang, dia kan dia salah pengguna. Dia takkan dapat balik refund.
Betul. Itulah bahaya dia.
Most scammer website HTTP not HTTPS. Not true. Sekarang ni nak HTTPS ni mudah je. Senang je. Dia boleh buat. Semua benda dia boleh buat. Dia boleh tiru sebiji macam banking. Sebiji. Kalau website Maybank tu sebiji. Cuma kadang-kadang ejaan huruf tu tertinggal. maybanktoyou.com.my. Kadang-kadang MY tu tak ada.
Kadang-kadang aksara ataupun dia punya karakter ni yang paling bahaya sebab kadang-kadang aksara dia nampak sangat-sangat dekat kan cikgu. So instead of A, dia nampak macam huruf alpha dalam bahasa Greek, which is very close to A in English, tapi dia ada nampak macam ada A, macam dia macam ada echo lebih. Tapi kadang-kadang orang tak
dia pakai Greek punya simbol.
Itulah dia. Itulah bahaya dia sebab kadang-kadang orang tak nampak. But itulah antara benda yang paling kecil yang boleh kita tengok apa akan berlaku. So another trick that I have realised, sekarang kita tengah sharing macam mana nak tengok kan. So antara satu cara yang saya sendiri pernah buat bila ada orang nak cuba scam saya pasal insurance, ada orang call saya, somebody called me, hi, sorry, your insurance has not been paid. It is due tomorrow. Your insurance awak akan mati esok. Kalau awak tak bayar ni nanti kena angkut. So what I did there and then is ask them, oh ya ke? Apa kereta saya? What's my car? And then they said, Myvi. Myvi? What's the plate number? Oh, WBQ blah blah blah. Oh, I don't have a Myvi. So again, if these people are from the if these people are exactly from the institutions that they say they are, they would know exactly what your details are. You wouldn't have to tell them. You can ask them what it is. If they don't know the answer, obviously they're a scammer. But even if they know the answer, again, don't answer anything. It's best that you go to the actual premises. Like if they say they're from Maybank, you go to Maybank. You literally go to Maybank. Ni ada seorang perempuan ni kat sini. Inilah antara contoh.
Di mana? S for HTTPS stand for secure. Not S. Kadang-kadang boleh jadi untuk scam.
Betul.
Ni contoh lah. Okay. Okay.
HTTPS tu cuma additional protocol kan cikgu? It's just a different type kan?
Betul. Sebab kadang-kadang dia ada panggil middleware attack. You connect ke public wifi, contoh dekat airport, Starbucks. Jangan buat transaksi duit tau, dia public hotspot tu sebab dia ada middleware. So apa yang middleware dia buat? Dia akan tengok apa transaksi you buat. Contoh, you masukkan ID bank, password, TSC. Dia boleh capture tengah-tengah tu. Sekarang canggih macam-macam. Dia orang boleh buat benda tu pakai smartphone je. Dia buat public hotspot, nampak macam betul-betul hotspot KLIA, Starbucks ataupun supermarket punya wifi. Jangan buat transaksi gitu. Kalau nak buat juga kena pakai you punya smartphone.
Data sendiri.
Dan smartphone pun kadang-kadang adalah you install game sedang game tu kena bayar. You dah download free. Kadang-kadang app tu boleh capture screen phone. Itu pun kena hati-hati juga. Cikgu bukan scam, pakai topi je kejap.
Betul. Okay. So, alright, that is about scam. Again, 63,000. So, next, we also have cyberbullying. This has been happening all these years. So, since 2017, even when I was in NICSET, or even before that, cyberbullying has been a big issue in Malaysia. So, quite recently in 2020, Malaysia ranked second in Asia for youth cyberbullying. Again, it's good that Malaysians are on the internet. There's a high penetration. Everybody has internet. Almost everybody has internet in Malaysia. But the issue then is that some of the toxic traits that we have in society, name calling, bullying people, has been transferred online. And the issue with transferring it online is that it's much, much more easier to happen, I'd say. Even though you don't get physically bullied, it's quite easy for people to start name calling you or calling you names, or even stalking you from digital spaces. So it's a very dangerous thing. So UNICEF has found that Malaysia ranked second in Asia, made it a right breeding ground for cyberbullying and toxic behavior. So it's not only among youths but also adults as well. So
ini yang viral kan?
Yes, this happened last year. So there's also one that happened
this year lah. This year.
This one is this year. This one is 2 years ago. So 2 years ago, a 20-year-old girl, just 2 years younger than no, she was my age back then. If she was still alive, she would be my age. So she was a victim of cyberbullying. TikTok of her and her friend had people bullying her and making fun of her for that TikTok. So she was getting damning comments, remarks over the video from people she never ever knew. So this is very dangerous from cyberbullying. Bullying usually occurs. This is a research. Bullying usually occurs from people that know each other. So let's say if you are bullied in school, that bully probably knows you. That bully probably has reason to harm you, or they have a good.
Pepatah Melayu pun sebut kata-kata tu tajam, lebih tajam daripada pisau.
Yes.
So mungkin cyberbully ni pun orang kita nak kata depan-depan dia malu, tapi
betul.
Depan skrin belakang skrin telefon dia berani.
Betul. And kadang-kadang tak ada sebab pun. Like just sebab nampak seronok. Awak nampak.
Jangan buat main. Israel pun koyak dengan kita.
Betul.
Sekarang ni dictionary baru kot, modern kan. Dia ada term koyak. Masalah pun faham lah, koyak.
Betul lah. So this is what happened in 2020. Unfortunately, she killed herself in her family home. And the video of her of the thing that is being made fun of has been shared by so many fake accounts, even by this Joko Orovan guy, where 70,000 people. Imagine being made fun of 70,000 people. I like, if you just try to put yourself in her shoes, it's not.
Tak semua orang dia punya mental tu kuat. Tak sama.
Betul.
So kita pun tengok cikgu baru ni pun macam cikgu ada dapatan cikgu kat Melaka, ada ujian psikologi dia panggil DAS depression, anxiety, semua kan. Test tu ramai cikgu yang gagal. So benda ni kena hati. Mental kita tak sama. Kita kadang-kadang kita tengok orang tu nampak kuat kat luar, tapi kat belakang dia tak kuat. Kita tak tahu dia punya tu. Bila kena macam ni 70,000, pasal dia rasa dunia dia gelap kan.
Betul. Kadang-kadang kalau mental kita saya just nak add sikit, ini memang susah untuk orang yang memang ada mengalami masalah depression, anxiety, memang tu dah sukar dah. Tapi siapa-siapa yang macam stable pun kalau kena kutuk dengan 70,000 orang pun pun nanti goyang gitu. So yes, it doesn't just affect people with mental illnesses. Again, anybody who it's really not an easy thing to be made fun of by thousands of people, especially people you don't know. So that's also what happened to a recent case, very recent. It was just happened a few days ago, where a 44-year-old mother of three who was doing a TikTok was cyberbullied and had because she got a lot of hate comments on her appearance, family, and outspoken nature. Her videos were a lot about cyberbullying, sexual harassment, animal rights, and also homeschooling. She was trying to advocate for things that she believed in, and she got cyberbullied.
Cikgu percaya sekarang ni kita punya standard masyarakat mungkin dah berubah. Dia punya hierarchy tu duduk kan di atas, diukur dengan berapa you punya pengikut TikTok,
Betul.
berapa you punya like, berapa you boleh keluarkan FYP. Dulu cikgu heran juga. Ingat FYP tu final year project. for your page. So benda-benda ni macam jadi candu lah ataupun macam dadah lah. So kerana orang boleh habiskan jam-jam tengok TikTok tu dah habis dah sejam.
Itulah satu kat sini
dopamine effect dia panggil.
Sorry?
Dia macam dopamine effect. Bila tengok TikTok tu dia macam dia sonok. Tambah yang buat content creator ni. So kita boleh tengok lah macam-macam. Ada yang tak ada rezeki masuk TikTok berjaya macam tu. Yang masuk sepah tu Rain Bakery.
Okay.
Tengok. Dia dulu dia jobless tapi sekarang content creator berjaya. So benda ni pun sangat mengganggu tau. Even KPM pun ada pendapatan 70% lah. Student lepasan SPM tak nak sambung belajar. Semua nak jadi content creator.
Aduh.
Itu bahayalah. Berapa orang dalam Malaysia ni yang berjaya? Kadang semua content creator siapa yang nak beli, siapa yang nak kerja. Itu kena fikir balik. So pengaruh tu kita tengok balik lah. Takkan semua nak jadi content creator kan.
Betul. Again, this is not to discourage anybody from being content creator. If you want to, feel free. But you also have to think about it realistically. I was into content creating space and I was quite lucky to have a following. I was quite lucky to get some traction. But I know a few friends who have gotten into the same space who have not gotten the same traction as I have. Then you really have to look into other jobs. So you can try, but realistically, unfortunately, not everybody will get it. But again, you have to take it with the risks, with knowing the risks that you are going into. So yeah, that was cyberbullying. Now we also have phishing. Phishing, of course, it fits a lot well with scams, but sometimes this is a little bit more. This is a lot more tacit. It's a lot more subtle. So scams, usually sometimes they will call you, they will email you or something. But phishing, sometimes people just send you links on WhatsApp saying that you got a prize or you can, you need to read something that's important or just check your account balance. And from there, they bring you to a fake site where you write in your content, you write in your details, you write in your bank account number, you write in your password, and then right then, the hackers already know who you are. The hackers already know what your bank details are, and then they can just take hundreds and thousands of away from you, just like that. So phishing attacks have been rising since pandemic, especially since now everybody's on WhatsApp. Everybody is using the internet. Every 1 in 2 phishing attempts in Malaysia are finance related. Of course, there are others as well to get your Instagram account. So again, phishing is not just to get your money. It's also to get your Instagram account. It's also to get your Facebook account. They can steal it. They can change their names, and then you don't even know which one is your account anymore.
Yalah, siapa yang ada data zaman sekarang ni dia the king. So kalau kita
Betul.
tengok kan, orang lelaki jarang dia post gambar wife dia. Tapi wife dia suka bubuh gambar dia. Contohlah kami kadang-kadang sajalah tengok sendiri siapa kan. Tak ada tau. Lepas tu kita tengok dia kan, lelaki dia tulis married with wife dia lah. Kita klik wife dia. Semua keluar. Nombor pelik kereta, nombor rumah, anak dia sekolah mana. So setengah orang cakap kan, lelaki ni tak romantik. Dia bukan tak romantik, dia jaga cyber security. Dia tak boleh birthday. You tahu tak kadang-kadang birthday apa semua kan, orang boleh teka you punya password kadang.
Betul.
So
Especially
dia cakap,
birthday.
"Bang, abang tak romantik lah." Bukan tak romantik, saya cakap, ini cyber security. Even kalau
Betul.
tengok Facebook saya pun ada gambar makanan, itu je, tak ada lebih daripada tu. Setengah orang, dia every time dia post selfie. Kadang-kadang dia cakap, selfie ni terapi, betul terapi. Tapi you kena hati-hati sebab as hobi tu orang boleh gali you punya maklumat. You
Betul.
duduk mana, tiba-tiba dapat check kan RM10,000, kata wife I punya husband pergi out session. Pencuri tu nak curi, dia tak payah nak buat temu janji pun, dia tengok dah, dia tahu lah bila nak pergi ambil.
Betul.
Itu kena.
Especially if you guys have ever taken a picture in front of your house, or a picture showing inside of your house where you live, geotagging. Now ni lah benda yang paling kelakar je kan. Kadang nampak dia orang selfie kat rumah je tapi kena letak geotag. Dia orang tag kat mana rumah dia orang. So like memanglah senang. sekali tunjuk korang pergi jalan-jalan kat Langkawi, hackers and also perompak dah tahu yang rumah tu kosong. So this is something that you have to bear in mind. Don't take pictures. Always blur out your IC number. This is very important, your IC number. Nobody in the public should ever know your IC number. It's important to blur out. Even sometimes your full name. It is quite easy, but like you can cut off your full name. You can cut off your details. These are all your personal and private details. So yeah. And finally, information disorders. This is the topic that I am really happy to, not really happy lah, it's a bad thing to happen, but it's a very fun topic to talk about, because throughout the past at least 4 years, this is exactly the kind of thing that I've been working against. This is exactly the kind of thing that I have been actively working in fact checking, in media literacy workshops, in conferences, making conferences. This is my main enemy that I am facing, and a lot of people are facing. So what is an information disorder? So information disorders are usually news that are altered, manipulated, or circulated with elements of falseness and or intent of harm, or both in the same time. So these are usually things that would skew your public perception, which would manipulate people into believing certain things. So again, there's a few types. This is quite nice for you to cite, especially when you want to talk about, especially when you are in the competition. So there's misinformation, disinformation, and malinformation. I don't think I have time to get into each of them because I do have a few more content I want to talk about. But yes, I think I'll be passing this slides over to anybody who wants them a bit later. So feel free to just ask Cik Hanif.
Sebab ada yang tanya ni, slide ni nak jadi share tak? Nanti saya minta Cik Farhan kita letaklah untuk perempuan download dekat bawah YouTube nanti.
Yes. So that's the information disorder. And then so fake news. What are the kind of fake news that has happened recently? There's a quote unquote racial incident in Sungai Petani where people from one racial group fought another racial group, but police has come out and say that's fake news. That's just news that are being manipulated to show people that these things are happening. And this is particularly important right now because we are nearing general election. Because every 5 years, our country goes through a change in leadership, and every 5 years there will always be political actors or again, troublemakers who want to stir up people's emotions, so that they will vote any particular parties. It's not just one party. Like sometimes you can also see almost every party doing the same thing.
Okay,
Or
fake news dengan viral, dia kadang-kadang dia blurry tau, kadang-kadang hampir sama. So macam kita tengoklah viral kan 2-3 hari, lepas 2-3 hari baru keluar berita sebenar. So macam kalau makanan kan viral, kita pergi lah, rupanya taklah sedap mana pun, dia viral je lebih. So dia hampir-hampir sama dengan fake news. Kadang-kadang dia dua benda tu hampir-hampir sama je.
Kadang-kadang is actually the exact thing. Sebab and I hope that you guys will be able to read this later. That is a form of misinformation, which is mistakes such as inaccurate captions, dates, statistics, that unfortunately will lead people to think about things differently. So memang kadang-kadang bukan seakan-akan fake news itu. Kadang-kadang memang dia fake news itu.
Kadang-kadang content creator buat benda tu untuk cari makan.
Betul.
Macam ada 3 influencer kan, suka buat video pelik-pelik kan. Korang kutuk dia, kutuk, tiba-tiba hujung bulan dia cash out 80,000.
Betul ni strategi sekarang.
Strategi sekarang.
Betul. Kadang-kadang sengaja buat benda yang akan buat orang marah. Macam adalah influencer kecantikan ni kan, ada dalam 2-3. Rasanya kalau korang fikir, korang tahu lah siapa ni. So kadang-kadang ada influencer yang memang sengaja bagi konten setiap 2-3 bulan dia adalah konten ataupun video yang buat orang marah. Tapi marah tu yang naikkan view dia orang. So
kita marah tak apa-apa. Dia relax, dia terima dapat duit. Lagi orang marah lagi dapat duit.
Betul. Lagi banyak produk dia boleh jual. So these are a few things that's happening behind the scenes. So this is coming from the work that I've done with Fact Check Lab. We have research. I'm not sure if you guys have seen it, but like, oh my God, when COVID-19 first started, there was so many fake news about it. So like for example, have you guys ever come across this claim that Malaysia will replace nasal swab with anal swab for COVID-19 test? So what that means is that instead of daripada diorang cucuk orang hidung untuk dapat tu, diorang cucuk, diorang ambil daripada tempat lain. So a lot of people have been sharing it. At first it was a joke, but people started taking it seriously. People actually believe Malaysia will start that. So in our research, in the research that I contributed, we found that this was false. Malaysia will not be replacing the nasal swab. So
tapi swab tempat lain tu ada, tapi untuk sakit taun.
Yes, bukan untuk COVID. Bukan untuk COVID. So if you guys are interested, feel free. I'll be sharing this to you. Feel free to Google this title from Fact Check Lab if you want to read about it more. And again, of course, there's a lot of the impacts of it is very true. There are people who believe certain things that aren't supposed to be because of that. So this is what caused last year when people were supposed to get boosters. This caused hesitancy, especially about AstraZeneca, especially about the Chinese vaccines. Is it called? Apa nama dia?
Sinovac.
Sinovac.
Cikgu pun cucuk Sinovac ni.
Itulah. Takut.
Kena cucuk booster.
Itulah. Ni diorang kata kalau kena cucuk yang tu dapat 5G lah, apalah. So ramai orang takut. So this is the thing. These are, so last tak ramai orang ambil booster dan ada juga orang yang tak ambil vaksin langsung. So those are the things that happen with fake news. So with all these things happening, is there even a bright future ahead for us? Is there any, like, it seems like everything is out to get you. Kalau salah tulis, duit hilang. Kalau salah percaya, otak hilang. So is there even a bright future ahead for us? Then the thing is, I would say yes. There is a way for us to look forward to the future while also having all these things given while also being safe. So for the first one, which is digital resilience. So again, you might be seeing this this word in different names. Sometimes it's digital literacy, sometimes it's cyber awareness, but it's practically the same thing. They have different definitions, but at the end of the day, it's practically the same thing. So digital resilience is when you understand your risks that you are doing, that you have online. If you write something, if you write something in the wrong website, you can get your money stolen. You also know that people are out there trying to misinform you so that they get money, or to skew your perception towards one particular place. So you understand your risk and you make informed decisions. Uh, you also know what to do when things happen. You also know where to learn and develop your own skills so that you can be safe from them, and you can also recover if things do go wrong. So that is digital resilience, not just the idea of being able to face problems as they come, but also being able to move past it. So, ladies and gentlemen, adik-adik semua, the best firewall is ourselves. It's something that we need to consider, especially when we're talking about cybersecurity policy, when you guys are discussing about how do we combat these things. Because at the end of the day, of course, you can suggest, and a lot of times, it is also a good idea for you to suggest policy reforms, like maybe add more laws, stricter laws, or add a campaign program. At the end of the day, the best firewall combat against all of this is ourselves. So of course, if
Don't
there's
don't
any,
be
yeah,
greedy. Don't be greedy.
yes, don't be
Uh,
greedy.
don't be greedy. Uh,
Know what you're doing on the
too
internet.
good to be true.
Be
Jual
skeptical. Yes. Mm.
macam beli iPhone dekat IG, come on lah. iPhone tak ada orang jual kat IG.
Betul, betul,
Uh,
betul. So yes, this is if you guys are talking about campaigns, it's a good idea to suggest campaigns that will, at the end of the day, bring towards digital resilience. So the second one is multi-stakeholder participation. It doesn't, of course, it just doesn't stop there. It just doesn't stop where, like, okay, all right, I'm now digitally resilient. No, it doesn't stop there. It needs these cybersecurity threats need a whole of society approach. Whereas these communities, again, feel free to read. I'm not sure I have time. Feel free to read where communities from these different sectors must come together and help in their own way. Like, for example, governments can put laws, can put programs. Private sector can have, let's say, like Meta, right? Facebook. They have certain elements in their software that will help to filter and outright throw this out. Academia, they can tell us what's going on now and how to fix it, so on and so forth. So everybody must come together and work together so that we have a better internet. So that is pretty much it for my content. I do have actually like more slides for you guys to at yourself. Okay, wait, let me just go for here and then I'll open for questions. So when you guys are looking into, actually, you know what? Let me go into questions first, and then if I have time, this is probably you might be able to read yourself, hopefully. But yes, let's go to questions first. Okay. Any questions? Or would you guys prefer if I go here first? Because this is a breakdown of the.
go through lah sebab tak ada lagi soalan ni.
Okay, all right, good. So again, while I'm talking, please feel free to put in your questions. So the first one is that when you are writing about your content, right? When you want to research about your content and when you want to make your video or if you want to make your arguments, you need to first define what do you mean. You need to first define what the topics are talking about. This is especially important because in Nixat, in Chatna, there is no, most of the time, the topics are pretty broad. And sometimes I see the organizers are pretty sneaky in this way because like they make it intentionally a bit vague, but it's not in a bad way. It is vague so that you yourself can put in your creativity, you can put in your research skills to define exactly what the topics mean. So the topics aren't necessarily dictated by what they want to see. It's most of the time, again, different cases, but most of the time it's about how you define it and how you define it to the audience. So usually when you introduce your topic, everybody introduces it different ways. But at the end of the day, one of the most important thing to do is to define your topic in your own manner. Especially in Nick said, you have 3 people talking about the same topics, but you might actually be talking about different scopes. And then that is where you justify why your scope is more important. Maybe you, let's say, right? Okay, you know what? Instead of me just pulling it, let me just give the example. Ya cikgu? Cikgu
Tak,
nak
teruskan.
cakap. Okay. Alright. So, digital, okay. So, like for example, this is the topic for Nick said. Digital vulnerabilities can be addressed by cyber hygiene. Discuss. Now, the question is, now the thing that you can do is that you can highlight specific parts that are, so every question is usually made out of 3, 4, 5 components. So it is then here that you highlight them and see what exactly how do you define it so that it goes with the objective that the apa nama dia, or that the organizers want. So, like for
So the
example,
catchy one is cyber hygiene. Misalnya kalau
yes,
Google ni tak jumpa ni cyber hygiene ni.
betul, akan ada banyak. So this is why it's important for you to define, because different websites will give you different things. Cybersecurity Malaysia will say something else. Cybersecurity Australia will say something else. So it's important that you put the definition on the one that you want or the one that you feel is the strongest, and then justify why. So what is cyber hygiene and what is it about? Second question is digital vulnerabilities. What is a digital vulnerability? What is the scope? What has happened? Where has it happened? So this is where you define exactly what is the problem you are going to solve. So Nick said, Chakna, guarantee 100%. All the questions will always have a problem that you will need to solve. So this is the problem. Sometimes there are questions that don't have an explicit problem. This is where you look into it. You look into what kind of problems are you going to solve with the discussion on the on the question. So now you know that cyber hygiene. When you highlight these two, now you know that there is a problem, digital vulnerabilities, and the solution is cyber hygiene. Now the next question is, can be addressed. How? Your job is, of course, to define and also talk about cyber hygiene and also digital vulnerabilities, and then you need to give solutions. You need to talk about how exactly does cyber hygiene help to address digital vulnerabilities. So that's the components that at least I can suggest you to look into for the next topic lah. Now this is about Chakna. Ni tentang Chakna. Panjang kan ayat dia. So anda ada sebuah ya?
Betul panjang ayat dia. Tapi
Okay.
dia bagi situasi ni sebagai you sebagai bos lah. Macam mana nak buat satu program, nak buat kat sekolah. So you kena jadi macam seorang usahawan lah.
Yes.
Usahawan kena pandai buat storytelling supaya yang pendengar tu tertarik untuk dapatkan produk you. Dia macam betul. Nak buat macam salesman lah. Kita kena tengok balik.
Betul. Sebab salesman kalau kita tengok mungkin agak seronok kalau korang nak tengok satu program nama dia Shark Tank. Dia orang datang ke program ni dan diorang pitch idea diorang punya produk, tapi bila korang tengok pitching diorang, dia bukan tentang produk semata-mata. Dia ada story macam mana, kenapa dia buat, apa masalah dia nak cuba selesaikan, dan kenapa diorang sendiri personally invested in this issue. So ini soalan dia. So these are the breakdowns that I can suggest. Panjang kan? So let's go through it one by one. Anda adalah CEO sebuah syarikat keselamatan cyber di Malaysia. Now the question is, kenapa anda dalam keselamatan cyber? Apakah matlamat anda? Apakah matlamat syarikat anda? Okay. apakah matlamat produk anda ataupun apakah matlamat anda berada dalam sektor keselamatan cyber. Kenapa? Adakah anda sendiri ingin mengubah dunia, mengubah cara kita di Malaysia berada di internet? That anda kena set apakah matlamat anda, dan that's what, itulah apa yang akan tunjuk jalan ke hadapan bila korang buat jawapan dia. Alright, so anda diminta untuk membentangkan program berkaitan keselamatan cyber. Now the question is, apakah soalan dia adalah apakah program itu, apakah isi di dalam program itu, dan apakah aktiviti yang ada di dalamnya kepada Kementerian Pendidikan. Now this is important sebab anda telah diberikan stakeholder ataupun pemegang taruh yang anda akan pitch idea ni kepada. So let's say kalau anda nak jual botol air, of course you want to sell it to people, of course, right? But specifically you want to sell to people who are thirsty. So in this particular case, you are selling your idea. Anda memang nak jual idea anda kepada kerajaan, tapi specifically Kementerian Pendidikan. Now the question is, apakah matlamat dan kehendak KPM dan bagaimanakah produk anda akan membantu Kementerian Pendidikan merealisasikan matlamat mereka? Sebab pitching is never a one way street. It's never about, okay, saya nak benda ni berlaku. Pitching is always about you and the person you are pitching to, anda dengan sesiapa orang yang anda bentangkan terhadap. At the end of the day, you want to try to get them to work together with you to solve the problem and for mutual benefit. So that's what you need to do.
So, kat sini bukannya setakat produk ya, value pada produk tu sendiri.
Yes. Dan value produk tu kepada orang yang anda membentangkan terhadap. So itulah dia tentang value. And then merealisasikan konsep sekolahku sejahtera. Ni satu kempen baru-baru je lagi daripada Menteri Pendidikan. Korang boleh Google konsep ni. Dan korang kena tengok juga macam mana program yang anda akan membentangkan akan bantu konsep ni. Even if sekolahku sejahtera ni is like
ni pecahan dia ni tu. Selamat, seronok, etika, J, jati diri. Benda ni normal dalam pendidikan moral dah ada. So
betul.
Tak perlu sentuh semua, ambil 1-2 je masukkan dalam konten tu. Sebab ni sebenarnya ni dipanggil value juga ni.
Yes.
Produk sekolah. So bila murid tu habis, dia ada elemen-elemen benda ni.
Betul.
Bukannya setakat pandai ABC, pandai mengeja, pandai mengira, pandai menulis. So dia ada nilai sebagai seorang murid, sebagai seorang manusia. Okay? So betul. Ni value lah KPM.
Betul. So dan program yang dibentangkan mestilah memberi impak yang tinggi dan anda pun kena huraikan apakah impak yang program anda ada. Dan of course you can also talk about apakah impak dia kepada konsep sekolah sejahtera. Dan ni memang sangat penting. Part ni sangat penting bukan sahaja kepada Cakna, tapi juga kepada Nixet kalau anda ingin membentangkan jawapan ataupun membentangkan program yang baru. Okay? Praktikal dilaksanakan di seluruh sekolah di Malaysia. So then here the questions ataupun soalan yang akan datang adalah, bagaimanakah program ini akan dilaksanakan, siapa akan laksanakan, berapa lama, bila kepada bila, dan berapakah kosnya. So semua benda soalan ni mestilah praktikal dan tak perlukan banyak duit, tak perlukan banyak dan kalau ada manpower pun dia tak terlalu kompleks. Dia boleh dilakukan. Okay? So ini adalah soalan-soalan yang anda perlu address one way or another bila anda buat program tu lah. So yes, pretty much saya sebenarnya ada banyak lagi content tapi memang saya rasa tak ada masa. Feel free to read. Unfortunately they won't be as clear when you read it because most of these are supposed to be with my explanations, but I do hope you can understand it. Again, feel free to email me if you don't understand any of these. So yes, I guess for now that is my content. Any questions?
Okay, kita buka soalan. Kalau ada soalan, type di ruangan chat. Tadi pun kita nampak ada scammer tadi post. Saya dah block lah. Sempat dia mungkin dia scroll tu di keywords cybersecurity kan, dia terus masuk.
Yalah, dia minta apa? Scammer tadi minta apa?
Scammer ni apa macam-macam lah tu, adult dating site lah, biasalah benda tu.
Aduh. Thank you. Okay, alright. Thank you so much, Teacher Vidya. Alright. Ada apa-apa soalan? Feel free to ask sebab especially kalau korang nak. Okay, ada tak apa-apa masalah yang korang hadapi sekarang bila tengah nak prepare untuk NICSET ataupun CHATNA? Do you have any problems that you're facing when you're for NICSET? You have 2 days left.
NICSET tutup 15 hari bulan. So boleh tanya lah tips untuk nanti yang live tu. Tapi kalau CHATNA ni kita ada 16 hari lagi. So sempat nak redo balik video, nak tambah konten. So ada yang tanya slide tu nak apa? Slide tu masukkan isi, tak perlu buat canggih-canggih. Just plain kosong, type je. Kita tak tengok pun slide tu fancy, colourful, semua animasi kita tak tengok. Kita nak tengok konten je. Tak perlu habiskan banyak masa dekat slide. Slide tu just kalau you cakap 5 point, slide tu 5 point. Kadang-kadang you all cakap orang tak jelas, bising. So kita tengok balik slide tu untuk bantu, untuk hakim bagi markah. Tak perlulah slide tu canggih-canggih sangat. Tapi dua-dua pertandingan ni, dua-dua kena ada slide. Event NICSET pun ada slide, CHATNA pun mesti ada slide. Sebab slide ni nanti yang masa betul-betul tu, slide tu you all kena buat betul-betul untuk macam kuprat punya. Jangan buat macam yang yang fancy-fancy warna-warni. Dia nak kuprat just plain.
Betul. Kadang-kadang macam ni je. Macam ni je. Macam ni je slide dia.
Okay, ni cikgu ni ada si Kohino ni kata NICSET submission done, we now working on CHATNA. SMK dalam Sarah. Okay.
Okay, nice to hear. Thank you teacher. Alright.
So kita nak ramaikan lah. So pendedahan, sebab benda ni simple je. You masuk, bagi pendedahan pada pelajar tadi. Sebab sekarang ni kalau tengok alam pekerjaan, dia nak orang tu pandai pitching, pandai cakap. Apa semua bidang pun keyword dia adalah communication. Kalau communication tu fail, you nak buat apa benda pun fail. Dari segi kehidupan you, hubungan you dengan manusia, hubungan you dengan majikan, hubungan you dengan rakan-rakan. Kalau communication tu bermasalah, memang ada isu punya masalah. Kalau tengok orang yang berjaya tu, cakap dia tu memang manis, memang sedap. Sampai ada orang pun menjadi sifu. Sifu, orang kata apa? Sifu jual alilio. Dan macam mana bakat dia tu alilio. You bayar 26,000, 30,000. Dengar dia, belete je.
Betul.
Dia bercakap je. Tu saya tak ada komen lah. You boleh tengok dekat FYP, TikTok tu macam-macam. 2-3 hari ni isu ni kan. So benda-benda tu kita boleh tengok. So dia semua dekat TikTok tu, dia semua ada communication. Dan bila communication ni kalau dalam debate ataupun dalam persorangan macam CHATNA, dia akan gunakan konsep 5Y pula. 5W 1H. Cikgu short form lah, 5 wife 1 husband. Benda tu sebenarnya keyword yang cukup power untuk you buat storytelling you. Cerita macam mana nak sampaikan. Kalau boleh kuasai benda tu, apa-apa benda you buat, insyaAllah boleh berjaya lah.
Betul.
Sekarang ni penyertaan boleh lebih pada satu pasukan kan? Boleh. Berapa ramai nak masuk? Boleh. Cikgu yang sama tak apa. Jangan budak yang sama je. So ni tak ada masalah.
Okay, so just nak beritahu sambil kita tunggu soalan ni, just nak beritahu dekat audience semua, memang saya sepanjang buat cybersecurity, sepanjang buat kerja tentang digital literacy, media literacy. Memang daripada situ saya start build CV, dan sekarang bila nak datang kepada majikan, memang agak senang untuk dapat kerja, because at the end of the day, sekarang dunia berubah ke arah digital, dan ramai sektor-sektor pekerjaan mungkin
was able to win any
YouTube ni.
Okay. Sekarang everybody wants to be on the digital sphere, but like nobody understands it as good as us, the digital native. Daripada kecil lagi mak bapak korang bagi iPad kan. So nobody understands digital better than you guys are. And like a lot of my friends, even kalau diorang masuk engineering apa, last diorang juga buat social media. So at the end of the day, it's a very good thing that you guys are going into Nixet and Chatna. Sebab any small effort counts. Any small effort brings to that. And like for me, I found some form of passion in this
Yalah,
field.
sekarang ni kalau tengok, kalau you kerja mana-mana, kadang-kadang bos minta edit video,
Betul.
buat video apa semua, cakap, buat sale, benda-benda tu communication.
Betul.
So kena belajarlah, communication tu penting. Setengah orang dia tak pandai kata tak tau, masalah tau. Dia yes. So jangan kadang-kadang ada yang pandai kata tak, semua kerja tak buat, dia tai chi. Tu communication lah, dia pandai pusing. So itu yang penting tadi. So benda-benda ni develop daripada awal lagi bagus. Nanti you boleh fikir hala ke depan ni lagi cantik lah. Kalau macam cikgu tu memang boleh cakap, tapi sekarang ni cikgu je kena buat video. Masa PDP pandemik tu, cikgu lah buat content creator, masuk TV, masuk YouTube.
Cikgu pula jadi streamer.
Ya, macam-macam. Ada yang set up studio, beli mic, beli lighting, beli screen, beli laptop semua, set up kursi gaming dan sebagainya. So benda-benda tu kita tak jangka masa ke depan. You cakap, cikgu cakap, saya nak jadi cikgu bukannya content creator, tapi last cikgu kena jadi content creator. Sebab nak tarik budak-budak yang masuk. Lepas tu budak-budak pandai pula. Ada cikgu ni pandai nak masuk kelas tu dia. Cikgu lain tak nak. Nak buat macam mana? Bukan semua cikgu bakat itu. Kita training untuk mengajar. Bukan. Tapi zaman dah berubah, pandemik ni. Memaksa semua orang berubah juga. Cara you order makanan pun dah berbeza sekarang. Sekarang pergi kedai menu tak ada dah. Pakai QR code. Bawa handphone scan. Bayar pun kat situ. Kalau dulu zaman 90-an, mungkin 80-an, mak bapak kita pesan, jangan naik kereta orang, jangan bercakap dengan orang tak kenali. Tapi sekarang ni, kita buat benda tu. Cakap dengan orang tak dikenali, lepas tu naik kereta orang tak dikenali. Apa dia? Grab. Order Grab tak kenal pun, tu naik Grab kan. Tu dia dah berubah. So, kena adjust. Kita kena tengok balik. Dan cybersecurity pun dah berubah. Dulu cybersecurity mak bapak kita, jangan chat dengan kali, jangan naik kereta orang. Tu cybersecurity dia orang zaman tu. Tapi zaman sekarang, dah berubah. So kita tiap-tiap tahun mungkin perlukan bengkel ataupun webinar macam ni. So kita nak update kita punya cybersecurity ni. Sebab ancaman dia tu
update set dah.
IC session ada error. IC 12 digit kan? IC kenalan tanpa IC tanpa dash.
Pasal IC also, alang-alang kita tengah sembang pasal IC, jangan masuk sembarangan. Of course kalau tempat korang boleh percaya macam untuk yang QR code kehadiran ni kan, yang tu okey lah. Tapi kalau tempat lain korang kena tengok kalau korang percaya ke tak tempat tu macam mana. So kadang-kadang ni bagi tip lah sikit. Kadang-kadang kalau tempat yang tak percaya ataupun macam nak sign up untuk kad keahlian bukan farmasi, kad keahlian untuk kedai baju ke apa kan. Saya tak nak diorang tahu saya punya saya punya personal data. Korang ada hak, memang ada hak untuk tak beri kepada diorang. Ini adalah hak yang dijaga oleh Akta PDPA, Private Data Protection Act 2010. di mana IC tu anda ada hak untuk tak menunjukkan kecuali kepada very specific authorities, and dia ada tulis kat situ. So kalau ada siapa-siapa minta dan anda tak nak bagi, boleh je bagi IC yang palsu, boleh je. Anda memang ada hak itu. Let's say kalau ada korang punya IC 00708, tulis 00103. Saya bukan nak ajar korang menipu. Saya nak ajar korang selamat dengan data yang korang ada. So, yeah.
Okey, baru-baru ni pun rasanya Jabatan Pendaftaran ada kongsi macam mana nak upload IC, kat mana kena palang. Dia ajar.
Betul.
So ada yang palang tu, palang-palang dia palang dengan nombor-nombor tu. Nombor tu tak boleh. So dia ajar cara palang. Okey, ada yang tanya ni, Senko, what difference between NICSAT and Cakna? I forgot. Dia tanya, I forget. So kalau Cakna, dia 2 orang penyertaan, tapi yang bercakapnya seorang saja. Yang seorang lagi tu technical. Yang NICSAT pula, dia 3 orang. 3 ke 4?
Rasanya sekarang 3.
3.
Kalau 4 pun, no, rasanya 3 je. Kalau keempat tu dia, 4
yang
tu
lama kan, format lama. Yang 4 tu format lama. Yang format baru ni 3 je. 3 orang. You, boleh rujuk dekat site pertandingan NICSAT tu. 3 orang je. So pembentangannya kalau NICSAT ni dia macam debate ala parlimen sikit. Kalau Cakna ni dia macam pidato sikit. Tapi dia macam discourse. You pertahankan your idea you.
Betul.
Tapi yang NICSAT ni dia tak ada siapa betul atau siapa salah. Kalau you boleh pertahankan idea you, kira okey. Dan you boleh ambil idea pihak lawan, merge, jadikan you punya kekuatan, itu lagi bagus.
Betul. So, another key difference is that NICSAT dalam bahasa Inggeris, Cakna dalam bahasa Melayu. That's a key difference already.
Ya betul. Okay, so talking about cybercrime, but sebenarnya have been hacked. Bukan hack, dia komen saja, dia spam. Dia bukan hack. Kalau hack ni rancangan hilang terus. Itu spam. Spamming and hacking bunyi dekat-dekat sama tapi benda berbeza. Itu spam. Kita dah block dah. Itu biasalah. Dia pun cari makan tu. Okay. So, terima kasih Fahan. Thank you. So, kita tak ada apa-apa soalan. Okay, cikgu-cikgu isi. Nanti kita akan WhatsApp untuk sijil bagi murid-murid. Bagi cikgu, kita akan bagi sijil dan mata kredit SPLG KPM. Okay. Ada apa-apa Fahan sebelum tutup?
All good. Just make sure jaga data korang sebab sekarang data adalah nyawa. Dan of course, again, you guys are having SPM, right? Just take this experience as a time to learn, grow, and have fun. That's what I would say. Tak payah stress sangat lah. Of course, semua orang nak menang, but like at the end of the day, you are learning. So don't worry about that.
Ya, sekarang sekolah pun dah happy dah. Exam tak ada. Exam kita 5 aja. UPSR tak ada. PT3 dah tak ada. Dah masuk. So tinggal 5 aja exam.
Seronok lah sekarang.
Dia cuma ada exam bulan-bulan je lah. Yang bulan-bulan tu normal lah. Exam besar dia tak ada dah. UPSR dah masuk. PT3 dah masuk. Hanya tinggal SPM. So kalau tak masuk benda ni rugilah. Sebab dia sekarang ni dia pakai keseluruhan. Maksud dia you libatkan koko semua. Ni point-point untuk you collect markah.
Betul.
So kita pun KPM pun banyak pertandingan. So bulan 6, 7, 8 ni sangat banyak cikgu memang padat. So kita faham ada kekangan yang terpaksa hantar lewat dan sebagainya. Kita dah lanjutkan tarikh. Cakna kita buat sebulan sampai 30 hari bulan ni. So sama dengan tarikh Merdeka. So Merdeka dah habis. So kita akan buat penilaian. NICSAT pun sama juga. Okay, sampai situ saja. So daripada kami penganjur, kami mohon maaf kalau ada apa-apa kesilapan dan kesalahan daripada kami. Itu kelemahan daripada kami dan daripada Fahan. Last, kata-kata semangat untuk dia orang ni. You jadi hakim tak? Tak dah?
Tak tahu sebenarnya.
Tak tahu lagi. Oh, ini rahsia ni.
Tak tahu lagi. Kata-kata semangat tu je lah. Don't worry about it lah. Just join untuk experience. Menang tu is a topping on the cake. Memang seronok, tapi at the end of the day, come for the experience. Memang sangat susah nak dapat. And kalau korang masuk je untuk saya sendiri tahu banyak kawan-kawan yang tak dapat pass to the final, tapi still experience yang diorang dapat ni bawa ke masa hadapan. So just go for fun.
Okay, last ni dia tanya, berapa limit penyertaan? Bagi kami Selangor, cawikan Selangor tuan rumah untuk sana, you all hantar je berapa penyertaan. Tak ada limit. Nak hantar 10 kita accept, tapi kita ingat kita ambil yang terbaik saja. Okay, kita ambil yang terbaik saja. Okay, sampai itu saja. Okay, Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh, dan jangan lupa isi kehadiran. So nanti kita akan hantar sijil dan mata CPLG tu kita akan upload nanti kemudian. Okay, sampai itu saja. Okay, Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.